Hey, Brett, this is Shane Jones. I'm in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm a huge Tennessee Titans fan. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to jump on here and let you know my opinion about the Super Bowl. Honestly, I think the Seahawks are going to win. It's a tough pick. I think it's going to be a great game, but I can't, as a Titans fan, as much as I love Mike Vrabel, I just can't pull for him to win in the Super Bowl. I think you can understand why. Like I said, I love the guy. It's just not in my heart to pull for him to win the Super Bowl so soon. Maybe in a couple years I'll change my mind, but not quite there yet. I think Kenneth Walker will be the MVP of the Super Bowl. I think he'll be able to do what he wants to do on the ground. The guy is very, very talented, super quick back, very, very good vision. The unsung hero is going to be Sam Darnold. I think he's a great quarterback. I don't think his stats are going to jump off the sheet whenever it comes to this game, but I think he's going to be able to control the game in a way, and I think you'll see him control the ball and control the clock. If I had to say who the MVP for the season would be, I think it'd definitely be Drake May. That guy has been awesome for the Patriots this year, what he's done, and I believe his second year has just been incredible. What a great quarterback and what a great season he's had. A little extra, I think Big Jeffrey Simmons for the Titans should win Defensive Player of the Year. That's my biased pick. Don't hate me for it. Looking forward to a good Super Bowl and having a lot of fun, and looking forward to everything except for the halftime show. I think there definitely could have been a better pick there, but that's just my opinion.
Hi, I'm Ian Darlington, and I'm a Green Bay Packers fan. Crushed as I am about how their season ended, I have rallied, and I'm ready for the Super Bowl. I think the Seahawks will win this year, and I say that with absolutely no confidence. I have 2 young kids and no free time. Other than watching 2 games back on Thanksgiving, I only started to pay attention to the NFL again before last weekend's games. That said, I believe the Seahawks will win for the following scientific reasons. Number 1, they are geographically closest to me at the moment, so my support for them will help carry the day. Number 2, they are my uncle's team. Gotta keep it in the family. The game is being played at the Niners Santa Clara Stadium, which will convey a West Coast advantage to Seattle. Number 4, the Seahawks branded jet of the former owner used to be parked at the airport near me growing up, and I saw it often, which I am taking as personal foreshadowing of a Super Bowl win in 2026. Number 5, they lost the Super Bowl to the Pats a decade ago, so I think they want it more. And number 6, maybe the most important, I'm tired of seeing the Patriots in the Super Bowl and would like to see them lose.
It is my God-given right as a person from Kansas City to see my team in the Super Bowl each year. So with that protest duly noted, let's get on to talking about Seahawks v. Patriots. I think this is going to be quite an interesting year. It could be a similar blowout to last year where the Eagles walked all over the Chiefs, and I think the Seahawks have every possibility of doing the same thing to the Patriots. That said, it could be more interesting than that. And for me, I'm really interested in kind of the battle of the defensive backs, because we have 2 different philosophies here in terms of the kind of personnel and kind of coaching methods for the 2 defenses. Patriots, under Vrabel are quite old-fashioned in a way. Williams preaches violence. They are big, heavy men, and it is quite a traditional kind of NFL D-line, whereas Seahawks are lighter and more agile and more about kind of flying around back there. There is a real kind of divide in the NFL about what makes a great defensive back and what kind of defensive line is going to be the most effective. And it does often come down to this question between agility and power. And power or violence, if we want to call it violence. Why not? Let's just call it violence. That's what it is. So I'm going to be looking, of course, at the QBs, and, they both can dime. And there might be some astonishing plays. But I'm also just really interested in seeing those two different philosophies on the defense clash together and just have a look at what happens between the two teams. I think for me, that's going to be the most exciting part of the game. And there won't be anything else exciting because the Chiefs are not playing. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Brett, and I am a Buffalo Bills fan, and my prediction for Super Bowl 60 is that the Seattle Seahawks are going to win their second Super Bowl title in franchise history. Now, this is a pick I am making with both my heart and my head. If I start with my heart, as a Buffalo Bills fan, I am incredibly disappointed to see the Patriots in the Super Bowl. They are my least favorite team in the NFL, and there's no way I'm going to pick them to win the Super Bowl. So my hope is that they absolutely get just smashed by the Seahawks. But if I think with my head, the truth is, as much as I hate to say it, New England is a pretty good team, and I think they're going to be able to keep it pretty close. But even thinking through with my head, I do still think that the Seahawks are going to be the team that ultimately prevails. And for me, it really just comes down to the competition that these teams have faced and how good they've looked all year. So I think whilst New England has some excellent stats, they've had a very high-scoring offense, a very stingy defense. When you look at the competition they've done it against, I just don't think it's quite as impressive as what the Seahawks have done. New England had the worst strength of schedule in the entire NFL. They didn't play, I don't think they've outside the Bills, they played a single team that had a top 10 offense or defense. If they did, they didn't play many. And I think that it's going to be a lot different in this game. Against the Bills, they went 1-1, and then when they got to the playoffs, Houston was just falling apart on offense by that point, seemed more interested in giving the ball directly to New England. When they got to the AFC Championship, you had Denver without their quarterback in Bo Nix, so they were playing a backup there, who turned the ball over in a crucial situation. That led to critical points that really is the reason why New England won. As much as New England won that game, it felt like Denver really lost that game. So in contrast to that, you had Seattle, who did it against much tougher competition, even in their own division. They had to play those teams again in the playoffs, in the 49ers and the Rams. I think that they're much more battle-tested, and the way they've got here is much more impressive. And if you look at the NFC Championship, maybe as a little bit of a clue, they were able to score really quite a bit of points. That was a pretty high-scoring game. And when they needed to make a play against Matt Stafford, who I think will be the quite deservingly MVP award winner, they were able to do so. They were able to get a crucial fourth down stop late. And then when they needed to make a couple key first downs, they were able to give the ball to the best player who's going to be on the field in the Super Bowl, in Jackson Smith-Njigba. They were able to find him. He led the entire league in receiving yards. He was able to make a big play in the NFC Championship when they needed him to, even if it was just something as simple as getting a first down and keeping the clock going. So win this game, I think if it comes down to one of these teams needing to make a play, in sharp contrast to the last time these two teams met in the Super Bowl when it was New England that made the play, this time I would put my money on Sam Darnold and Jackson Smith-Njigba being able to make a play when they need to. And ultimately, I think the road that Seattle has taken to get here, combined with having the best single player on the field in Smith-Njigba, I think that's going to be the difference maker. And I think, again, we're going to have a wide receiver. It'll be the second of the two of the wide receivers on the Seahawks to win a Super Bowl MVP. They've got Cooper Kupp, who won a MVP with the Rams a few years ago. But this time, I think it's going to be Jackson Smith-Njigba as the MVP for the Super Bowl winning Seattle Seahawks.
Hello, Brett Chat Sports listeners. I'm Freddie Lawkeen, and I think the Seahawks are going to win the Super Bowl. I thought whoever won that regular season matchup between the Seahawks and the Rams would win the West and get the first seed, and then I thought whoever won the conference championship between the Rams and the Seahawks would win the Super Bowl, and I'm going to stick with that. And I think the Seahawks beat the Rams in a thrilling game, and I think the Seahawks are going to win the Super Bowl. I think Drake May will take the ball in himself for one touchdown. I think Jackson Smith-Njigba gets one touchdown. And my final, very obvious prediction, if the Seahawks have the ball on the 1 yard line, I think they will run the football. They will not let that mistake happen twice. Thank you very much and enjoy the game.
The BCS Podcast is written, produced, edited and hosted by me, Brett Walker. Thank you to Boban Apostolov and Pixabay for the use of the music and sound effects in this episode.